All right, Ben, so we're coming to the closeout, and near the end of the show, we always like to have our commentary, any rants. And we talked about this a little bit before the show. So let's just get to the big news of the day. On today, what is this, Wednesday, November 13th?
Yes.
All right, it's not a Friday the 13th, so we should be okay. All right, here we go. Kaepernick. I used to call him CK. I used to call him CK and the Capper Kids. That was my man. He was getting it done. And we all know what happened. All right. But let me say this much. First of all, let's just say what happened. Obviously, he's been called upon by the NFL for a workout that is supposed to provide information for all 32 teams, or an invitation for all 32 teams to look at them. Some will be there, some will get video. It's a really weird scenario here. So I made a few notes. I'll just go through some of the, let's call it stream of consciousness at this particular point on this particular issue. You can fill out details or whatever. Now, first of all, and I think probably the most significant thing that I kind of came to a newer understanding of was why he left the Niners in the first place. Because as I was saying, the Niners were really the only team that supported him. They didn't try to stop him from doing anything. They didn't stop him. He didn't get fined and none of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I literally saw Chip Kelly support him,
verbally
in public, in press, in a meeting with the press. So, but then they brought in the new regime,
right?
And he was told, according to reports, that they were going to cut him because they didn't feel like he fit the system.
They were going in another direction. That's what they like to say.
Well, they can say that, but yeah. And what's kind of weird about that is that they kept the backup quarterback. I had his name, CJ Beathard.
Yes.
Who's kind of like Kaepernick, not in terms of being this tall, athletic, et cetera, et cetera. So they didn't cut him, but again, Kaepernick had a contract, a big contract. And we talked about the guarantees. So apparently he only got about 30% of what that potential guarantee was on that contract. He got somewhere between 30 or 40 million. It was $100+ million contract.
Right.
So he did get money. He was advised by the league of this workout. Apparently there was some question about him trying to extend it by 1 week, and they refused. So they would not give him any extension. He supposedly is working out, and he's supposedly ready, and et cetera, et cetera. There's been some mention that potentially it could be Jay-Z working in the background of the NFL, and
giving him this opportunity.
Yeah. He supported Cap from the get.
Right.
Now, when he came into the NFL and he had his interview talking about Jay-Z, and he said, "Okay, we've done the knee thing, but there's so much more that needs to be done."
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping back then that Cap would have joined them and would have joined the alliance, the coalition that was given the $80 million by the NFL to do community work, to go out.
You mean after the fact? After after the suit and the settlement? Join? Because we already know why he wasn't going to be a part of the coalition.
Why?
He felt stabbed in the back.
Well, he said that, yeah. But again, we talked about they had a common mission. So it's not about the personalities and stuff. It's a common mission. The goals are there.
The goal, yes, but it seemed like no individual player had anything to lose or to give up except him.
Felt stabbed in the back versus an opportunity to come and work with a sympathetic group and maybe show that you were ready to get back into the flow. That was my question. Okay.
Part of that was he had to say that he would not kneel anymore, and he wasn't willing to say that.
Well, I don't know if he's willing to say that now either.
We're gonna find
So
that
we're
out.
gonna find that out. Yes,
right.
Because apparently there's going to be an interview.
It's going to be just like the
workout.
combine. It's going to be just like, as far as I know, it's going to be as close to the rookie combine as possible as far as drills, interviews, and such. But I got something to say about that too.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is that let's remember that when they asked the White House, he was like, yeah, I think he should come and try to play if he's good, if he can.
Right.
He got threw like a challenge out at him.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
After he called him a son of a bitch.
Right. I didn't hear anything come back from Colin. Colin's been pretty quiet about all of this. I don't think Colin's actually even said anything, even with this new report at this particular point. It's all his representatives that are speaking for him. So that being said, you got this scenario where, again, you have Colin Kaepernick coming in right after Veterans Day. So all of that patriotism and all of that kind of stuff, which was part of the whole conundrum with him in the first place. But apparently there are some teams now that are saying that they're going to be there. There's some interest.
When did you hear that?
Today.
This afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also in the media,
they're going to send representatives.
Right. Because they got to prepare for games. So obviously, head coach and stuff ain't coming. But some teams that were mentioned that were possibilities that he would fit in. And it's very interesting in the age of Lamar and the new quarterbacks who can run type thing that, here's a guy who was at the forefront of a lot of that. Ravens, Cowboys, Cardinals, Bills, and Bears.
This is all speculation by the press.
Speculation by the press.
Okay.
So, long story short, the big question is, what about the kneeling? Is he ready to get beyond that and simply work toward the goals? I mean, the kneeling was nice. It's a great symbol. It was great for symbolism. It brought the needed attention. That was done. Now there's real work. You and I have actually gone online to the coalition's website and seeing that what they're doing relative to working through with local people on legislation and actually being in the court system and actually helping, like what they did with Philadelphia District Attorney in terms of getting the cash bail situation changed so that the poor person who gets picked up for some minor infraction is not stuck in jail because he can't come up with $1,000 or something in a bail, and some other person who's done something potentially worse than that, but now they've got the 1,000, 5,000 or whatever, and now they're walking the street. They still have their job, their family's still intact until they've gone through the whole court process where the other person is sitting in jail. So, that inequity against poorer people is something that the coalition worked on. It was lauded. And these are the types of things that they're actually doing. That's the actual work of leveling the playing field and helping people in these legal situations. So I was hoping that, when you're looking at what they're actually doing, and Kaepernick was saying, we're going in the same direction, let's put everything aside. I was getting the feeling like it was becoming more of a, it's about Kaepernick more about Kaepernick than about the mission. Now he still does his thing. He's feeding the homeless. He still has his, know your rights camp and all of that. But, people weren't not watching football because black people were getting killed. They were not watching football because Kaepernick wasn't getting the job. And I wasn't sure how much of that he was kind of just using to continue, building on in terms of his name or not. We shall see. And so I'll let you go from there. You said you had a few things to say. And I'll drink some.
I don't really want to go all the way back to the whole kneeling thing and the coalition thing, because as far as I'm concerned, I think he had legitimate reason not to want to join the coalition. He had attempted to be a part of whatever it was that the Players Association wanted to put together. He was, as far as I could tell, and as far as I heard, and as far as what I read in the beginning, was all for it because it seemed like they were ready to join him in this mission. Just like people joined him when he was the first to kneel, they were willing to join him in the mission of trying to take care of some of these issues. Okay. But then it seemed that the players coalition, I don't want to call it the Players Association, everybody's in the Players Association, but this coalition thing is something else, was beginning to gravitate toward the owners and what I will assume was their decision to do in order to get the kind of money that they thought they needed to make the changes and to do the proper things. Unfortunately, the owner said, if he's going to be a part of this, he has to say and do some things. So the fact that he decided, no, I'm not going to do that. If they're going to give money, they're going to give money because it's the right thing to do. Not to shut me up. That's not right. So he stayed separate, and Eric Reed stayed separate. And guess what? The coalition still got money. They didn't need them. So now, if you think that it makes him look better, believe me, I would hope that sometime in the future, if in fact he does get back in the NFL and becomes a player, that he will rejoin the Players Association and pay his dues and be a part of the coalition. And start, well, the Players Association is one thing.
That's the union.
That's the union, right? So I want to separate this. You're right. But so if he's a player, he's going to be in the Players Union, but be part of the coalition and maybe be a driving force in some specific things that he might have in mind. I'm sure that he's got a lot of things to talk to those other players about as far as how much money, where the money should go and things like that. But that's going to have to wait until we see if he gets a job. Now, let's talk about this. First of all, I was up late last night. I think when I heard about this, it was the breaking news. So it was like 10 or 11 o'clock last night. It could have been out before that and I missed it. I don't know. But it sure did seem like breaking news the way the person said it. I immediately shot you a text.
Right.
I get up this morning and they're talking about, number one, his people and the NFL. And when we say the NFL, we mean like the whole NFL. We don't know if we're talking about Goodell. It's like saying the White House. You know what I mean? So his people and the NFL had talked about some sort of a workout situation where teams would be able to see him in action and he would be able to talk to coaches / GMs about where he is as far as football is concerned. His preparation, his physical ability.
Which he kind of did with Seattle. He talked to them. He didn't work out for them, though.
Right. But it was pretty clear that he was going to have to get some kind of backing from the NFL to actually pull this off, because a lot of teams, knowing that he won that settlement, were probably like, I won't bring him in because he sued the NFL. We work for the NFL. That's not something I'm just that's why nobody will work him out. Just talking about working him out or bringing him in and talking to him makes you look good, but you ain't really do nothing. They had no intentions.
Seattle
or anybody else that even talked about bringing him in and didn't do it had no intentions of hiring him. That's PR if you ask me. Okay, but now the NFL is saying it's cool, but look how they did it. Obviously, they talked about this here and there, but it never happened. Then all of a sudden, they say, all right, we'll do it in 4 days. 4 days? Yeah, on Saturday. in Atlanta.
Which some people are saying rarely happens that they do any kind of a tryout on the Saturday. Usually it's
Because what are NFL teams doing on Saturday?
prepping for Sunday.
Exactly. Coaches, GMs, presidents, vice president of player person. Everybody. Everybody is somebody. They're going through their normal, preparations for games. They're traveling. They're either on their way somewhere or they just got somewhere. They're having walkthroughs. You can't do that without, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Saturday. So he asked, can we do this on a Tuesday? Which is the day that most teams are free.
So he asked specifically for Tuesday.
He asked for a Tuesday. They said no.
They said no.
Then he said, can we push it a week to the following Saturday? Because you're obviously trying to stick me on a Saturday. So give me a week then. They said no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
4 days after
that's why
Veterans
there's so
Day.
much skepticism.
4 days after Veterans Day. They're keeping that up there.
Yeah, that's what I said. Right after
He
Veterans
said
Day.
2 trillion times. It has nothing to do with the armed forces. It has nothing to do with the flag. It has nothing to do with any of that. And out of the clear blue sky, we're going to give you a workout 4 days after Veterans Day. I sound like conspiracy theorists?
But what's
This
the
is
conspiracy?
messed up, man.
That's the question.
Here's the conspiracy.
Okay.
I think Jay-Z does have something to do with this. I think he sold it to them that it would be a good idea for the NFL to give Kaepernick another chance. And they're going to. I believe this is real, but they're going to do it on their terms because they still a little butthurt about losing that case. So they're not going to make it easy on them. Now, if there's a team or some teams out there that are serious enough that they can, I shouldn't say sacrifice, but they can get somebody. If any GMs go to this, I'll be surprised. Excuse me. But I will look at that team as being serious. No coach, no head coaches are going to go. No,
let me mention,
coordinators
from
are
what
gonna
I
go.
understand, because he is an unrestricted free agent,
Yes,
he would come in at league minimum with no choice.
fine.
So he, now next year, the other thing is the timing. Going into week 12 of this,
They're not going to make it
season,
easy.
So
They could have done this anytime. They could have did this week 3.
Yeah, it could have been done.
They've probably been talking about it.
The trade deadline,
Sure.
et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
There was a deadline that just passed yesterday too,
Mm.
and it had to do with trades and all of that kind of
Okay.
stuff. I heard nothing on the news about it, so I think where it was a deadline.
Was it one of those things where we're going to put you on waivers, you have to clear waivers, and then you can go to the team of your choice? Or we can sign you back?
I think it
One of
was
them
more
kind of things?
like you have to have your trade signed by this date. And,
Okay.
it was all done already. And so I don't think it was anybody, anything big there. But just to mention, because I know when the AAF apparently approached him, he told them he wanted $20 million or something like that. They were nowhere near paying that kind of money.
Yeah, but they don't have any kind of rules like that. If you this and you that, then you have to come into the league minimum. They didn't have anything.
No, they didn't have anything like that. But all they had was they had a flat pay across all positions.
Right.
It was like $225,000.
Right. So if you know that and you say you want $20 million, then you obviously just don't want to play.
You ain't trying to play.
Exactly.
We had come to that conclusion.
Yeah. So again,
and obviously he wasn't trying to go to Canada and play there.
No.
Although
Although I would have liked to see that.
I said that would have been
He would have excelled.
he would have went up there and showed off.
Did a Warren Moon on him.
Did a Warren Moon on him. So I thought that was an option, especially if you just want to play football. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you really
but
just want to get out there.
Just wants to prove he can play NFL.
In the NFL. Well, you would have got a
And
shot.
I think, and if I'm wrong about this, I'm going to be really angry. But I think they're really going to give him a real chance to do this. It's just they're kind of.
So you think he has a good probability of actually getting picked up by somebody?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying this is a legitimate. Some people are saying this is all a farce. But I think this is a real opportunity. It's just they're doing it kind of funny. They're doing it so that there's no easy road.
I understand that, but what you're saying is
if
that you don't think he's going to get picked up by anybody.
No, I'm not saying that.
Or you're not saying that?
No.
So you do think he'll get picked up by
So you're asking me that question now, because that wasn't part of what I was talking about. I was only talking about the opportunity and whether it's a real opportunity or not.
Well, I'm trying to understand what real means. Does real mean that there's
like it's not fake? They're not saying we're going to give you a workout, but we're not going to make it possible for anybody to actually come in and watch you and interview you, which means nobody's going to take you because they haven't had an opportunity.
Oh,
because
no,
they're in a position in their season
I
where
think
they
said
can't
something
do it.
about film would be,
Film would be distributed
and all
but
that.
that's the work.
There was,
but the interviews are supposed to be one-on-one,
and then invites people to be able to come in and be there live.
Right, but they did that on a Saturday on purpose because they knew it would be difficult for teams to send people there. But if teams are serious, they will find someone that they trust in their organization to go there and watch him with their eyes.
He's going to have to beat the bias.
Yeah, it's a big bias.
That's a big bias.
But my thing is, I think
the Dolphins overcome.
It's going to be interesting to see who actually sends someone there. I will put them as the front runners for the teams who are really interested. Also, here's the other thing. He could say no if somebody offers him a contract. You know he don't want to be no backup. That's going to cross a couple teams off the list.
3 years out, nobody's really bringing him in to start either. Especially, well, the only way he would be coming in to start is if you're in a situation like with all of these teams with injured starters.
That's why it's the perfect time for him. That's the part about this that's perfect for him. You got all these backups starting.
You're the backup.
And teams are trying to decide, are we going to go ahead with this guy, let this guy go, and then draft a quarterback early next year?
You know, he could come in for the Bears. That would be an interesting.
He could come in for the Bears.
You know,
he could come in for Carolina. Although I really think they really like their backup.
They like their backup.
They really like that guy.
But
there's a few teams.
He'd be a heck of a backup to that backup. You know, and he
push him.
He'd push him, no doubt about it. So, well, so the thing that I want to say is that I think for both you and me, we are hoping for the best for Kaepernick.
Absolutely.
I would like to see him back in the league.
Yes.
You would like to see him back in the league.
Yes.
We understand that, you know, they put some spikes in the road there. You know, he'd probably be driving to the thing and all of a sudden get a flat tire and looking, well, spikes. I'm gonna be late. But, you know, well, I'm you know, somewhat skeptical, somewhat cynical, but we understand that the NFL reflects overall America.
It's going to be in Atlanta, and even the Falcons are on the road. They're in Carolina, so they
will be indoors and have a nice dome where he can come in. He'll toss that mug, maybe come in and put that thing about 70 yards downfield, and everybody go, I forgot he could throw like that. You know, because he had, you know, you go back to college where he was, you know, he came in and just broke records running and throwing the ball and all the things that he could do. So, you know, and it would be funny if he wound up somehow connected with the other Harbaugh brother. That would be hilarious.
add another log on the fire.
Again, one of the few teams that, you know, with a running quarterback, has backup quarterbacks who can run also, run that same system. So
yeah, he doesn't want to get entangled in that mess, though. But I'm sure he could beat out RG3 for backup.
That's what I'm saying. It's RG3 and McSorley, you know?
So, McSorley won't see the light of day for a while. A long while.
Oh, if Lamar playing the way he is, yeah. But
he won't see the light of day with that team.
If for some reason Lamar goes down and now you're dependent on RG3, he might see the light of day.
Who actually, you see that play he had? A little bit. He put on some. He bulked up.
RG.
Yeah, he looked kind of husky. Look kind of husky, like a halfback.
You gonna stop calling him Bobby Griffin?
Bobby Griffin. Yeah, I'm gonna give him RG3 back, man. Because
ladies and germs.
He's humbled himself. he came in with a really big head, had that really good first season, and then just, went to crap. So he's humbled himself. I'm okay with that.
Okay, okay.
And I think, although he's not a seasoned veteran as far as playing time and starting is concerned, he's done enough to be a decent mentor to Lamar. So
okay. Well, that's our commentary. I don't have anything else as a rant or anything else. Do you have anything else?
No, not really. I read something today that was kind of crazy that said somebody should bring in somebody should get Kaepernick and AB. I forget what team it was. They should get them both. I'm like, stop, please stop.
Let's go quickly through our social media. We already spent pretty good time at the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings. Again, my intriguing game of the day, Houston against Baltimore. I will be putting out a blog on Sterling Net Point Power Rankings, www.sterlingnppr.com. Ben and Barry on Football is also on Facebook. Ben, there's a nice article there questioning the curse, the Madden curse. Yes,
that's what the curse.
You know you're serious when you got a curse going for you, man.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated, Madden.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if you like on both covers at the same time, man.
Could be disastrous.
It could be disastrous. We are also on Twitter at B&B on Football. Join us. We're following a lot of great people, and actually 2 or 3 of them are following back, and that's about all. Anyway, B&BOF, Ben and Barry on Football, is on Instagram. Lamar Jackson pitching the ball to RG3. I mean, what a concept, And then you don't know if he's just going to pull up and throw the ball because he's a quarterback. He can do all of that kind of stuff.
That's the setup.
That's the setup. It's absolutely.
Give him something to put on film and worry about.
Anyway, absolutely. So that's Instagram. And if you go to www.benandbarryonfootball, you'll wind up at YouTube, at our YouTube page where all the videos go up. And again, we are an amateur operation. We don't get paid. We don't make any money. We're just here for the fun and for the experiment, the grand experiment of the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and how that all fits. And that's about it.
Yes, we're not just sitting around shooting breeze. We got numbers behind us too.
We got
just like everybody else.
That's right.
And they're real numbers and they're our numbers. They're actually his numbers. But
no opinion.
I love being a part of this. No conjecture.
No conjecture.
This is real stuff.
Straight numbers. We go from there.
That's that.
We start from there, and hopefully we'll have a better weekend.
Dude, nothing could be as bad as last week. That was a nightmare.
Never say never.
No. I refuse to believe that I could ever pick games that bad again.
Okie doke.
Not this season, anyway.
All right. Let's try not to.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Last words, you know me. Go Noles.